בקודש נדע שבישראל יאסף ליראה אדם.
שוכן שחקים
נאומם שוכן שחקים
שכנתה מעפרייקי מצרב נקום מנק מאדום וכדר מן טוב נעדר יפור לחלקים ידהון יבדר
יחיד רם יער ותחוסף ולא בשוז אדר בקודש נדע שבישראל יאסף ליראה אדם.
קץ וצבא לחושך תעשי
עד הנר בנים לחוצים בשרם נגדר ומורם קדר מלך הללו שום תעשי ממלכלן שדר יחיד רם יער עוד חושף ולא בשוז אדר בקודש נדע שבישראל יאסף ליראה אדם. לא בשוז אדר בקודש נדע שבישראל יאסף ליראה אדם.
סוחרת ודך
יחיד רם יער עוד חושף ולא בשור זדר ובקודש נדר שבישראל יעצב ולילה אדר יחיד רם יער עוד חושף ולא בשור זדר ובקודש נדר שבישראל יעצב ולילה אדר יחיד רם יער עוד חושף ולא בשור זדר ובקודש נדר שבישראל יעצב ולילה אדר יחיד רם יער עוד חושף ולא בשור זדר ובקודש נדר שבישראל יעצב ולילה אדר יחיד רם יער עוד חושף ולא בשור זדר ובקודש נדר שבישראל יאסף לעירי אדר שיר, שיר, שיר ידידים, צא מקסדים ועלמות שיר. צלצלי שמה ומינים ועלמות שיר.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. We are beginning. Welcome to our afternoon assembly. You've been listening to the Kolna Ensemble. Please enjoy one more song, their unique rendition of Yedid Nefesh.
Shalom everyone. It's a big pleasure to play for you today. We will play and sing the piyut, the liturgical poem Yedid Nefesh, from the liturgical midnight love poems of the Moroccan Jews tradition, the supplications, bakashot. This musical and poetical tradition preserved in the peripheral areas in Israel, especially in the Negev, in Yerucham. Our students and teachers ask to revive this tradition and bring back one of the great cultural treasures back to the Israeli mainstream, back to our hearts. يديد نفش ورحمن شوخ داخل لتونا
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 يا وطابق مؤيا תחמינו פצוף וכל טעם כי הערב לא ידידו תחמינו פצוף וכל טעם
כי הערב לא ידידו תחמינו פצוף וכל טעם כי הערב לא ידידו תחמינו פצוף וכל טעם אדוני הזיו העולם נפשי חולת אהבתה נפשי חולת אהבתה אנא אלה רפנלה אנא אלה רפנלה והאותנו עזיבך אז תתחזק ותתרפא והייתה לה שמחת עולם אז תתחזק ותתרפא והייתה לה שמחת עולם אז תתחזק ותתרפא והייתה לה שמחת עולם אז תתחזק
חביב עלינו סוכת שלומך יגלה נאות ופרוס חביב עלינו סוכת שלומה תאיר ארץ בכבודה
תאיר ארץ מכבודה
נגילה ונשמחה בך מהר אהוב כי במועד וכוננו כי מעולם מהר אהוב כי במועד וכוננו כי מעולם Thank you very much.
We want to extend a special thank you to our sign language interpreter and Sign Now, creators of an innovative app that is bridging between the deaf community and service providers at international venues such as the FIFA World Cup and the Eurovision Song Contest. And thank you again to the Kolna Ensemble for the beautiful music this afternoon. And now, please welcome to the stage the chairs of the Israel at 75 General Assembly, Shauna Goodman and Jeff Schoenfeld.
For helping us get started this afternoon and for filling this room with such rich and vibrant music that celebrates, preserves, and renews the traditions of the many Jewish communities from the Middle East and Asia. Kulna operates learning centers throughout Israel and in Morocco, teaching contemporary traditional art and music from the Jewish communities of the Middle East. Erez monk Yigal Harush and the students of the Kulna Ensemble perform throughout Israel and around the world, lifting up the music of Eastern Jewish communities through traditional instruments and poetic pieces. Thank you so much to Kulna. We are so pleased to welcome you all to the closing plenary session of today's program. We hope you found today's sessions informative and thought-provoking. As Jeff and I walked around and visited all the sessions, and of course visited with you all in the halls over the schmooze and lunch, we were inspired by the depth of the conversations, the multitude of perspectives, the creativity of the ideas, and the commitment to the Jewish people and Israel. This afternoon's plenary is not the end of the General Assembly, but it does mark an important transition from a more traditional General Assembly format held here in this convention center to an in-depth engagement with Israel and its people as we begin to observe together Yom HaZikaron and then celebrate Yom HaAtzmaut. You will hear much more about this later on in this session.
Before turning to what we will do over the next hour, let's first review some of the highlights of this day. It was our goal to have you explore today's Israel, not the Israel we remember from postcards and history books, but the real, dynamic, growing, complicated, ever-changing state of Israel. Israel is, as many have noted, a work in progress. And it's also a source of endless innovation and dynamism in so many fields: healthcare, business, technology, culture, food, security, climate, and so much more. And yes, it is a place of challenge in government, in religion, and in social structure. In just a few hours, this morning and this afternoon, we tried to give you a chance to update your understanding of the situation and hear from some of the very best thinkers and innovators. As leaders and community members here and in North America, it is vital that we stay connected to and knowledgeable about the issues and opportunities before us. We hope that today's program inspired you to keep learning and sharing this knowledge with others. And we hope this learning also continues to fuel your leadership and generosity to our community. We also didn't shy away from the controversial topics of the day. This was not easy. Issues like judicial reform and the law of return need to be studied, discussed, and debated, but they can't be allowed to represent the sum total of our conversations about Israel at 75. And that's how we approach today's schedule.
As we now begin to transition to the next part of our General Assembly, it seems fitting to both review our work together as a federation system and a global Jewish community, and to look to the future. Last night, we shared the program with our important partners at the Jewish Agency, the World Zionist Organization, and Keren HaYesod. As part of this assembly, we will hear about one of the important initiatives of another critical partner here in Israel and around the world, the American Joint Distribution Committee, otherwise known as the JDC. Their work on our behalf in strengthening Israel's civil society is needed now more than ever. And then we will hear from some inspiring leaders of our community helping us to look at the future. It has been our honor and pleasure to co-chair this General Assembly. We look forward to continuing our conversations with you informally over the next 2 days as we travel the country, as we move from the formal to the experiential and weave into the fabric of Israel and the local experience.
And now it is my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker, the opposition leader of the government, Yair Lapid. Opposition leader Lapid most recently served as the 14th Prime Minister of the State of Israel, and prior to that, served as the alternate Prime Minister of Israel, Minister of Foreign Affairs, and Minister of Finance. Yair Lapid is the chairman of the Yesh Atid party. Please welcome to the Israel at 75 General Assembly, opposition leader Yair Lapid.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. Thank you. It's great to be here. I'm happy to be here, unlike some others. Sorry, couldn't resist it. Listen, I know you're worried. I know you're nervous. I know you might even be angry. I'm worried too. The reason we're worried or angry or nervous or even scared is because we care. Because we love this place. Because we want our children to feel connected to it. Because we want them to know Israel is always a home for them. And a home for every Jew wherever he or she lives. Because we want the next 75 years to be even better than the first 75, and because we believe in the founding principles of this country. Israel as a Jewish democratic state. We believe, as the Declaration of Independence says so beautifully, that it is the natural right of the Jewish people to be masters of their own fate, like all other nations in their own sovereign state. And we also believe in the rest of the Declaration of Independence, the part that says Israel will be based on freedom, justice, and peace, as envisioned by the prophets of Israel. It will ensure complete equality of social and political rights to all its inhabitants, irrespective of religion, race, or sex. It will guarantee freedom of religion, conscious language, education, and culture. We refuse to give up on that. That's also my message to you. Don't give up on us. I know how many people here feel about this current government. I know it doesn't represent your values, it doesn't represent mine either. But this government isn't all of Israel. This past month, we have seen the strength of Israeli democracy. We have seen the deep democratic instinct of Israeli society. The protests have been patriotic. The protesters wrapped themselves in the blue and white flag of Israel. They sang our national anthem. They stood for a minute of silence to remember the victims of the terrorism we still face. Every time they took to the streets, it was an expression of love for our country, of love for our people here in Israel, and for our people in the diaspora. Israel has spoken. We are committed to democracy, to an independent Supreme Court, to a free press, to women's rights, to LGBTQ rights, to religious freedom, to minority rights. Every country faces moments of difficulty. The question is, how do you respond? We need to turn this moment into an opportunity to build, to create an even better society. We need to replace the judicial overall with a constitution for Israel, based on the values of our Declaration of Independence. It is my duty and obligation to lead the opposition to offer a different path. I'll do my best to do this with diligence and dignity. This government was democratically elected, and it will be democratically replaced. That is the nature of democracy. Governments come and go. The state of Israel is here to stay. The people of Israel are here to stay. The Israel that we know and love is the one that was created by the incredible people who live here, by the energy, by the history, by the thriving communities and our amazing young people, by the deep connection to the diaspora, to you. In a few hours, we will begin Remembrance Day here in Israel, a day to remember those who gave their lives so that we could live ours, a day to remember that this miracle of ours came with a terrible price, a day to remember that Israel was created and Israel survives because people fought and died for it. Near the end of the Declaration of Independence, there is an appeal to the Jewish people throughout the diaspora to rally around the Jews of Eretz Israel and to stand by them in the great struggle for the realization of the age-old dream, the redemption of Israel. Today, maybe more than ever, we need you to rally around us, to stand with us. Remind your communities of that call in the Declaration of the Independence. Remind them that their bond isn't with the government of Israel, but the state of Israel and the people of Israel. Remind them that we are still a family. Remind them that we should never let anyone break the bond from outside or from within. And don't let them forget the threats we face. They are as serious and as dangerous as ever. Remind them that we are still here, the moderate voices fighting for a tolerant, open-minded Israel, an Israel that accepts all Jews, but most importantly, Remind them to continue loving Israel for what we all know she truly is, and for the future that we believe awaits her. Thank you very much. Have a good afternoon. It's great to be here with you. Thank you so much.
Please welcome the Chair of National Women's Philanthropy, Carolyn Gitlin.
Thank you so much, Opposition Leader Lapid. I don't know where he is, but thank you so much. It is a pleasure to be here with all of you today in Israel on the occasion of Israel's 75th birthday. That deserves a round of applause for all of us. Every time I come to Israel, whether with a federation or not, I come away deeply moved and touched by the people I meet. Those of you who have had the privilege of spending time here, you know that there's so much more to this place than what we see in the news. Something much deeper, more real, and authentic that connects us in powerful and sometimes indescribable ways, tying this to its people and its future, making us a part of its story and strengthening our commitment to its success. And this is a connection federations have been feeling for generations. The story of the State of Israel is intertwined with our story, working to support the new state, sharing in its accomplishments and its deepest sorrows. Federation leaders and donors from across our system can look at the work of our overseas partners, the Jewish Agency for Israel, World Ort, and the JDC, and see themselves. Their role in providing communal dollars to nurture the relationship between Israel and world Jewry, care for the most vulnerable, and innovate new strategies to lift up those in need, all contributing to strong, vibrant, flourishing State of Israel, now celebrating 75 years young. Today, I am pleased to introduce you to two Israelis that embody the Israel in all its complexity, excitement, and hopefulness. Chani Sabag and Amira Jabbar Qassem. One comes from Nof HaGalil, a mixed Arab-Jewish city in Israel's north. Another from Bnei Brak, a largely Haredi city in central Israel. Both are women, mothers, and entrepreneurs. There are so many differences between Chani and Amira, but also at the very core, there is so much that they have in common. And it was on that common ground that they came together, two Israeli women, in service of their communities and Israel society. Watch this.
נעים מאוד, חני סבג. אהלן, אני אמירה קאסם, CEO במיזם ג'וב 360. סוגיית התעסוקה היא סוגיה קריטית, היא מהותית, וגם משבר התעסוקה בתקופה האחרונה השפיע רבות על המגזרים שלנו. אז אנחנו כאן כדי למצוא פתרון, לחשוב אחרת.
המיזם שלנו הוא בעצם פלטפורמה טכנולוגית מבוססת ווב, שהיא מאפשרת לאנשים להתאמן לקראת רעיונות עבודה. בעצם יש פה איזשהו אתגר מאוד משמעותי. אנשים מהחברה החרדית והחברה הערבית לא רגילים להתחכך באוכלוסייה שהיא זרה להם. ומה שהמערכת שלנו עושה היא בעצם מעלה למודעות שיש שאלות שתידרשו לענות עליהן. יש אתגרים שתידרשו להיחשף אליהם. יש משהו יפה בשותפות של אישה חרדית ואישה מהחברה הערבית. היכולת מצד אחד לשמור על אותנטיות ועל חיבור פנימי לערכים שלך. ומצד שני, להיות הכי מקצועיים שיש ולחתור קדימה בכל הכוח, היא יכולת שאפשר לשכפל אותה. אנחנו רואות לא רק במיזם שלנו ערך, אלא גם בסיפור השותפות שלנו. הכוורת שם מדויק למה שהכוורת עושה. בנתה לנו תאים, צוות עובד, מדויק, יוצר כל הזמן עבודה פעילה מאוד, ומלווים אותך כל כך הרבה אנשים, מנטורים ואנשי שטח.
זה אנשים איתך, במחשבה, בחלום.
שני יזמיות, נשים מהחברה הערבית, מהחברה החרדית, שזה גם ככה בעצם יזמות שהיא בתת ייצוג בסטארט-אפ ניישן שלנו. למרות כל האתגרים, מקימות סטארט-אפ שבא לעזור לחברה שלהן. אבל אני חושבת שהסטארט-אפ האמיתי זה השותפות האמיצה ביניהם.
יש לך אפשרות לחבר עוד אנשים לחזון, לרעיון, לחשוב באופן יצירתי, שבסופו של דבר גם לעזור לקהילות שלנו, וכמובן ליצור אימפקט משמעותי ורחב על החברה בישראל. ואז מעגל ההשפעה מתרחב בצורה כזאת.
זה מדהים לראות את עם ישראל בשעות היפות שלו. תודה לכל מי שנתח את הלב ונתן עיניו וליבו להיות איתנו.
תודה. Assalamu alaikum.
Shalom. I am Hani Sabag, one of 12 children and mother of 3. I start my professional career in education and employment.
I'm Amira Jaber Qasem, a mom of 2 and I live in Nazareth. I worked as a director of training and knowledge development of Arab Employment Centers of the American Jews Joint Distribution Committee, JDC, or as it now here in Israel, the Joint.
To be honest, when a friend suggested that a partner with Amira, I said in Yiddish, sei gebench. Forget it. What do I know about people in the Arab community? I had no intention of calling.
Aha. See?
But 5 minutes later, when my phone rang, I heard women speaking with a heavy Arabic accent. It was Amira.
7 hours later, we had a written concept for our startups, which named Job 360. Our startup helps people prepared for job interviews using virtual reality on a web platform.
Our two communities are different in so many ways, but they are also similar and we face similar challenges.
We are steeped in tradition, stick in our values, live in our own communities, and do not engage all that often with the secular Israeli community.
Our personal story are also similar. Amira and I both grew up in homes with parents who encourage us to think for ourselves, to learn and solve problems.
My mother was the first woman in our village to work outside of the home. She faced so much resistance, but she stuck with it and paved a new way, all while being totally dedicated to our community's practices and values. It was from her that I learned about devotion, persistence, and diligence. And I needed these qualities to succeed here in Israel society. It challenges to be a woman startupist in Israel, especially as an Arab woman.
But here we are, two women from very different communities that actually have a lot in common. We realize that diversity brings value and that 1 + 1 is 3. Our partnership brings a message
of collaboration and shared society.
Thank you. Fortunately, we were accepted to the JDC Hakaveret Social Innovation Hub in Israel. This became our professional home. The hub provides us with professional tools, marketing, networking, building a business plan, and more and more.
We became part of JDC's Hakaveret networks of over 4,000 people and 150 active entrepreneurs. We have just completed our pilot and have started selling our product to companies. 60% of our users got a job.
Working together on this project, Hani and I have learned a lot about each other's communities. Arabs and ultra-Orthodox often live quite close to one another, but we seem light years apart. I was in cultural shock when I visited Hani in the first time in Bnei Brak. She had the pictures of rabbis on her kitchen and in her doors all over the house. I felt, in fact, that I was in a synagogue.
When I came to Abu Ghosh, Amira's village near Jerusalem, we were supposed to go to a meeting in a mosque.
I bought Hani a special dress and scarf for her to wear, but she would not go in.
The truth is that in Judaism, there is no prohibition against entering a mosque. And I was very curious to see a mosque from the inside, something I have never done before. But in my view, I wasn't going to Abu Ghosh as a Hani Sabag, but as a member of my Jewish community. I felt it wouldn't be appropriate to go in.
Ya Allah, it's bothered me a lot. From my perspective, there's no reason not to enter a mosque. It's the house of God. But eventually, you need to learn to respect friend wishes. There are things that I won't agree to. Everyone has their red lines, so I understood that was her.
Our partnership is definitely an example for how bridges can be built between Jews and Arabs. We have our differences, but we preserve the values, identity, and culture of each of us. Our desire to make Israel a better place for all its citizens drives us to compromise, to be open and tolerant, as we want this country to be good for all of us.
I have been with the JDC for many years, and I know that with your support, it works with all the communities in Israel to improve their lives, grow, and succeed, and make Israel's society stronger and more cohesive.
Every day, you make it possible for people like Amira and me to realize our dreams.
We are among the 1 million people in Israel, from the poor to people with disabilities, from seniors to youth at risk, touched each week by the social services and opportunities that JDC and federations have made it possible. Thank you.
Amen.
Inshallah.
welcome to the stage the chair of the board of the Jewish Federations of North America, Julie Platt.
It's wonderful to be here together. Thank you so much to the co-chairs of this special Israel at 75 General Assembly, Shauna Goodman and Jeff Schoenfeld, for your vision, for your leadership, and for your perseverance. This was not an easy assignment, and you two never blinked. We are so grateful for your leadership. Thank you. Thank you to Carolyn, Hani, and Amira for sharing such a beautiful and uplifting story of cooperation and collaboration. I also want to take this opportunity to acknowledge Ariel Zwang, the CEO of the Joint Distribution Committee, for her incredible partnership in our work and for being with us here today. It's also my pleasure to welcome in person my predecessor as chair of the Jewish Federations of North America and now the chair of the Jewish Agency for Israel's Board of Governors, Mark Welf. Even though we shared our opening night of this General Assembly with the Jewish Agency, and of course also with Karen Hayesod and the World Zionist Organization, Mark was not able to be there in person. Welcome, Mark. We're so glad you're here now. General Assemblies serve two essential purposes. First, it's important for us to gather together regularly, in person, from across our Jewish Federation system, together with our essential partners in building and sustaining flourishing Jewish communities. This essential holy work can not only be done on Zoom, and that's why the fact that we have had 2 General Assemblies just this year, while taxing on our professionals and our families, is actually exhilarating. But second, General Assemblies are a time when the top leaders of the Jewish communities around the world come together to discuss the most pressing issues on our collective agenda and to look together to the months and year ahead. We've obviously done that at this General Assembly, and I thank everyone for their attentiveness and engagement. At this special General Assembly, marking Israel's 75th, we have a third task. Today, we should not only focus on the work that is immediately in front of us, but we should take this momentous occasion to look farther into the future. Be'ezrat Hashem, some of you will be in the room when we come together to celebrate Israel at 100. But whomever of us is here in person, we know that our Jewish Federation system will be here and will have marked another quarter century of dedication to Israel and the global Jewish people. We wish we could invite every one of you here to stand up and share your vision and your prayer for Israel's future, but of course we cannot. So to spur our thinking and to begin the conversation that we hope you will have at our events and on the buses the next 2 days, and then when you head home, we have asked 3 leaders to share their thoughts with us. First, we are excited to have the newly elected chair of the Harry and Jeanette Weinberg Foundation, Paula Pretlow. The Weinberg Foundation, like the Jewish Federation system, has played an integral role in the creation and development of the State of Israel through these past 75 years. Paula is from San Francisco and is an accomplished businesswoman and communal leader. We are also incredibly proud that Paula is currently chairing our first ever Jedi leadership mission with 30 incredible leaders from around North America and Israel. Our Jedi leadership mission began its journey here last week and is taking part in this General Assembly. Next, we will hear from Rabbi Mark Baker, the president and CEO of Combined Jewish Philanthropies of Greater Boston, Boston's amazing federation. Before coming to the Federation, Rabbi Baker was the head of school at Gann Academy, one of the most innovative and highly acclaimed Jewish day schools in the world. Mark has joined this General Assembly along with 300 Bostonians who are here on a special Israel at 75 community mission. Next and finally, we will hear from Bat Galim Shaer. Bat Galim is an educator, speaker, writer, and public figure who works to promote unity within Israeli society and the Jewish people. Bat Galim is the mother of 5 daughters and 1 son, the late Gilad Zichrono Livracha, who was murdered by Hamas terrorists in Gush Etzion, along with his friends, Naftali Frankel and Eyal Yiftach. Bat Galim is one of the creators of Israel's Unity Day project, and in 2016, she founded the Sunshine Organization, which is focused on the connection between Israel and the diaspora. We've given them each only 4 minutes, so we know our amazing speakers can't share all their ideas with us, but rather give us just a taste to whet our appetites. Please welcome our 3 speakers, Paula Pretlow, Rabbi Mark Baker, and Bat Galim Shaer, in opening our hearts and minds to the future of our amazing state of Israel.
Shalom. Israel at 75 is an inspiring model of a modern democratic nation. A place that shows how hopes, dreams, I'm going to have to use my notes. The light is shining at me. A place that shows how hopes, dreams, and just enough chutzpah can lead millions to a thriving future. Incredible achievements across numerous fields and sectors have been made, including in technology, healthcare, and medicine, security, AI, and more. And yet, we also know that Israel is facing many challenges from outside and from within, particularly in recent times. The Weinberg Foundation is proud of how Israel has supported those among us who are less fortunate, has taken in and cared for Holocaust survivors, and has opened its doors to immigrants. And there is still much to do, as we know our civil society partners in all sectors, including governmental, foundations, nonprofits, and business, will agree. Weinberg remains steadfast in its mission to support low-income populations and will continue to support older adults who want to age in place safely and with the needed supports. We will continue to support women at risk, specifically those affected by domestic and intimate partner violence. We will continue to support economic integration and independence for all of Israel's citizens, regardless of their backgrounds. We will continue to support the LGBTQ+ community in Israel as well. That said, some of my hopes and dreams for Israel at 100 are that she will continue to build and improve on her accomplishments and on her commitments. She's a young country, and like a teenager, in some ways, she's still finding her way. I hope that we will look back with pride. We will look back 25 years from now, and we will truly see Israel as a light unto nations, especially as how she treats all of her people, regardless of race, regardless of gender, regardless of family makeup, regardless of ability, regardless of religion. And she will also protect her widows, orphans, and other marginalized populations, as our Torah commands us to do. My hope is that each and every Jew of color feels a sense of family, welcome, and belonging in this, our homeland too. That she will be a safe place and safe haven for Jews across the globe, being the anchor for the Jewish people, and will honor each and every Israeli citizen equally, regardless of race, ethnicity, gender, or sexual orientation, and with the full freedom of religious expressions, regardless of affiliation. I hope and dream that Israel will have learned anew how to have her citizens debate and encourage and engage in civil discourse in a manner befitting the houses of Hillel and Shammai. Hillel and Shammai, who may have been policy foes by day, but at night were family. I hope and dream that she has continued to refine and expand her social safety net to care for all citizens who are experiencing poverty, with their improving health and wellness to come along with it. That the workplace will have continued to evolve as a platform for social and economic opportunity for all. That Israel's leadership in technology has continued to enhance the lives of all people, not just in the center, but those on the geographic and socioeconomic periphery as well. I hope and dream that Israel has become a leader in responses to domestic and intimate partner violence, and that domestic violence prevention finds a leadership position from here, using holistic approaches. And lastly, I don't just hope, but I fully believe that Israel at 100 can be that light unto the nations that the Torah calls for us to be, using the knowledge of our past experiences and the learnings from the present to continue to dream, to innovate, and to thrive as a modern Jewish country. All of us together. Thank you.
As we've seen over these past 2 days, the impact that our Jewish federations have played on the first 75 years of Israel's history has been extraordinary. And as we just heard from Julie, I think we know that our federations will be here for the next 75 and beyond. It is truly a privilege to lead at this historic moment alongside all of you. As I thought about where Israel and the Jewish people could be when Israel turns 100, I thought about a beautiful quote in the Talmud, in which Rabbi Elazar, in the name of Rabbi Hanina, describes Torah scholars as builders who bring peace into the world. Jewish learning has been the lifeblood of our people for thousands of years, and it has the potential to transform us and our future. I'm talking about both learning for its own sake as a pillar of Jewish identity and creativity, and, as the Talmud also says, learning that leads to action. Action that builds and repairs our broken world. We're living at a time of profound Jewish creativity and a radical democratization of access to Jewish learning and content. Imagine a future where everyone feels invited, inspired, even compelled to engage in meaningful and sophisticated ways with timeless Jewish ideas and wisdom. Jewish learning, even a few minutes a day, will be as common as attending a Passover Seder, as reading Times of Israel, as binging your favorite Israeli TV show. Parents who are learners will transmit strong and meaningful Jewish culture, tradition, and values to their children. Everyone, regardless of Jewish knowledge level, religious observance, background, or identity, everyone who wants to be a part of this will contribute their voice to the beautiful, messy, intergenerational conversation that we call Torah. Learning will be a powerful force for pluralism and Jewish renewal here in Israel, for continuity and creativity in North America, for deepening mutual understanding and strengthening the bonds between our two 21st century centers of Jewish civilization and Jews around the world. But we're also living at a time of so many crises and so much painful brokenness. It can feel like things are falling apart, like at best, as leaders, we're just trying to hold things together. So imagine a future where learning leads to action. The Jewish intellectual, ethical, and spiritual traditions will help us to reweave our social fabric, to strengthen Israeli and American democracies, to build a better world. As we look forward to Israel at 100, we can build a future where Judaism will speak to our most essential human questions and will command us to engage with the world. It will inspire us to work together across our differences to address our most challenging problems. Leaders who are learners and listeners will build bridges and heal divides rather than stoke suspicion, fear, and disdain. The toxicity of our politics and our polarization will transform into broad and deep civic engagement, responsibility, hope, and shared commitment to the common good. Judaism and learning at their best will cultivate empathy, curiosity, mutual understanding, the capacities to hold multiple truths, and the complexity of our world, which will in turn become essential features of our communal and civic lives. Israel's 100th birthday is just around the corner. The world needs Israel, the Jewish people, and every one of us to dream big, to dig deep, and to live out Rabbi Hanina's vision to be learners and builders. Thank you.
Dear friends, good afternoon. Thank you. It's an honor and privilege for me to be here with you all. I'm Gilad's mother. He was one of the 3 boys who were kidnapped and murdered almost 9 years ago. We are here at a very special event and a very special, extraordinary days. These 10 days between Yom HaShoah and Yom HaAtzmaut, the Holocaust Memorial Day and the Independence Day, are called Aseret Yemei Tshu'ah or Aseret Yemei Todah, 10 days of gratitude, because these days have a special connection. Before we begin to dream about the next 25 years, and it's very important to do this, let's give thanks for what we have. Israel now is stronger than ever. A leader in agriculture, economy, a trade, a leader in the field of medicine and communication. And we should not take our accomplishment for granted. Our nation has strength to progress and overcome, and we can be very proud of ourselves. Today, more than ever, we must be a home for every Jew in the world. The fact that we have many narratives and conflicts, it's not new. Unfortunately, the social situation is very complicated in Israel. Therefore, at this time, we need each other more than ever. What unites and brings us together is our experience, our past, and our future. We can share our dreams, our hopes, and I want to share today my own experience. Unfortunately, I went through a very painful and tragic experience when I was quickly exposed to huge hurt of Jews throughout the world. Almost 9 years ago, on June 12, 2014, our lives changed forever. Our son Gilad was kidnapped along with Naftali and Eyal. Most of you remember them as the three boys. 18 days of searching, 18 days of uncertainty, 18 terrifying days, but also 18 days of unity and mutual responsibility. Day after day, the whole nation found itself united by good deeds, real concern, and unending prayer for their safety. People from all over the world, especially you, the Jews from the United States and from Canada, from the entire continuum, religious and non-religious, right and left, united to support us. I share a lot in my book, Expecting My Child. During those days, we realized that it wasn't only the 7 million Jews in Israel who were affected. There are more than 7 million Jews who live in the diaspora whose hurt were with us. 9 years ago, we saw our capability as a society, as a nation. We saw the good within ourselves and the good in the other. We felt the power of we. Some say that it's easy to be united when there is danger, but it's not easy in the day-to-day. Being united in time of danger is not obvious, and it shows the tremendous potential and strength of our nation. You can't find another nation that behaves like this, that takes care of each other like this, that feels mutual responsibility for one another. So we can be proud of ourselves, but we can't be satisfied. We are brothers, and brothers continue to care about each other. I'm here today with one message to the Jews around the world. We love you, and we care about you. The location might change, but the unity must be continued always. On July 1st, 2014, the world came down crashing on our heads. The bodies of our children were found. There was tremendous shock and intense pain which would accompany us from then and never be healed. Broken hearts, but our spirit wasn't broken. My son murdered because he was Jewish. It can be very hard to be a Jew, but it's a big honor. I'm really proud to be Jewish. Our strength as a Jewish people is in our unity and resilience. When we are united, we can face any challenge. We also need to be a strong people and at the same time flexible. It's very complicated. Today, too many Jews feel disconnected from their people and from Israel. This is one of the greatest crises of our time. Our goal is to strengthen Jewish identity and the connection between Jews in Israel and throughout the world, to recognize our common values and encourage caring and mutuality. When I was the director of the Zionist Archives, I saw the original documents written by Herzl, who dreamed about this country, and learned that the Zionist idea was dynamic and flexible. Today, every connection to the state of Israel is Zionism. Diversity is our strength, and a strength that we actually only when we respect and accept that we are not the same, and that we are all the better for it. As Rabbi Sachs would have said, when we stay and live with people who are different from us, we grow up. So how we can do it? I try to promote unity that I felt during the 18 days from positive place. My husband Ophir and I established a foundation in memory of our son Gilad called Sunshine with O. All our projects build bridges in Israel and between Israel and Jews abroad by educating and familiarizing ourselves with those who are different from us. One of our projects, and the most famous of them, is Unity Day. Many communities and organizations hold events to promote unity. On this day, we give the prize at the President's House, the Unity Prize of Jerusalem, to 3 organizations that promote unity year-round in Israel and the diaspora. This year, we already launched a very special initiative, Salon Israeli. I'm proud to share that over 150 people have opened their homes to have conversation with others and learn about one another to promote unity. We need to begin, thank you. We need to begin the process which will change the conversation. This will not happen in only one day, but all of you, the leaders of the Jewish world, demonstrate mutual responsibility in the best way possible. The State of Israel was established to be a light to the nation. Together, and only together, will we succeed in facing the challenges of our nation. There are moments when I close my eyes and imagine my son Gilad looking down on us and smiling with his beautiful, sweet smile. Proud of our country, proud of our nation, proud of our people who live with diversity and complexity. 9 years ago, we saw our capability as a society, as a nation. We saw the good within ourselves and the good in the other. We have to strive to be in that place in the day-to-day. I have a dream. We will understand how to have respectful communication and improve this conversation between us. I have a dream to bring together diverse population to create connections. I have a dream to build bridges to strengthen Jewish identity for future generation. I have a dream that communities will take the initiative to encounter groups which are different. President Obama has said, yes, we can. Yes, we can initiate projects to strengthen the connection between Jews in Israel and in the whole world. Yes, we can support Unity Day, which over the years has involved 26 countries throughout the world and 1.5 million people, and will happen again on May 23 in Israel and throughout the world. Yes, we can work together despite our differences and complexity as one man with one heart, כאיש אחד בלב אחד. This will not happen in only one day, but yes, we can. Together and only together will we succeed in the challenges facing our nation. Thank you very much.
To help us wrap up today's program, please welcome the President and CEO of the Jewish Federations of North America, Eric Fingerhut.
Thank you, Paula, Mark, and Bat Galim, for helping us point to the future. With leaders and thinkers like you, I know we're in good hands for the next 25 years. It's great to see you. So today is the third day of the Hebrew month of Iyar. This evening, which begins the 4th of Iyar, begins Yom HaZikaron. And tomorrow evening, which is of course the 5th of Iyar, begins Yom HaAtzmaut. And it was on the 5th of Iyar, in the Jewish year 5708, which corresponds to May 14th, 1948, that Israel declared its independence. So the 5th of Iyar is Israel's Independence Day, like the 4th of July in America, right? Well, this is a Jewish state, so remember, it's not that simple. The British mandate over Palestine was scheduled to end on May 15th, 1948. Israel's pre-state governing council voted to declare independence immediately upon the expiration of the British mandate. So that was the political decision. But there remained a very Jewish question. You see, May 15th, 1948 was a Saturday. And it was unthinkable that a meeting to declare independence would be conducted on Shabbat. And that's why the famous gathering that we can all picture in our minds with David Ben-Gurion reading the inspiring words of Israel's Declaration of Independence to the world, that's why it occurred on Friday afternoon, the 5th of Iyar, in time for the observance of Shabbat and for those who are Shabbat observant to make it home before sundown. But the calendar issues didn't end there, because Israel also had to decide when to celebrate its Independence Day, Yom HaAtzmaut, each year. So it was relatively easy to decide that if the 5th of Iyar came out on a Friday or a Saturday, then we would move the celebration of Yom HaAtzmaut back to Thursday so that we would avoid desecrating the Sabbath with our Yom HaAtzmaut celebrations. So if you think about it, that means that Yom HaAtzmaut can occur on the 3rd or the 4th of Iyar as well as the 5th of Iyar. But it doesn't end there, because then we established Yom HaZikaron. And another question arises, because if Yom HaAtzmaut is on a Sunday, then that means, it begins on Sunday night, then that means that Yom HaZikaron would begin on Saturday night, and that would require preparations for Yom HaZikaron on Shabbat. So the decision was made that if the 5th of Iyar falls on a Monday, which would mean we'd be preparing for Yom HaZikaron, then Yom HaAtzmaut would be pushed to Tuesday, or the 6th of Iyar. Did I lose you yet? So here's the bottom line. The annual celebration of Israel's independence, Yom HaAtzmaut, can fall anywhere from the 3rd to the 6th of Iyar. How Jewish is that? Now, fortunately, this year, the 5th of Iyar falls on a Wednesday. So we actually are celebrating Yom HaAtzmaut on the actual 75th anniversary of independence, not earlier and not later. Now, I love this history because it reminds us that Israel has been carefully navigating the parameters of being a Jewish and democratic state from the very moment of its birth. And even though we are in a moment where that navigation is difficult, the fact that Israel has grown and flourished for 75 years is evidence that we have done so successfully, and we can do so in the future. There's another reason that I love the story about the date of Yom HaAtzmaut. Because whatever day we celebrate Yom HaAtzmaut, it always comes at the beginning of the month of Iyar. And Jews have a tradition of blessing the coming of each new month with the traditional Birkat HaChodesh, the blessing for the month. In that blessing, we say, Misha asani sim lavotenu, May the one who performed miracles for our ancestors, v'ga'al otam me'avdut l'cherut, and redeem them from slavery to freedom, hu yigal otanu b'karov, redeem us soon. V'kabetz nidachenu me'arba kanfot ha'aretz, and gather in our exiles from the four corners of the earth. Chaverim kol Yisrael, then all Israel will be friends. V'nomar amen. So I think that we can say that this blessing after 75 years has been partially fulfilled. We have surely witnessed a miracle comparable to all the wondrous miracles of the Torah. And we have participated in the redeeming of the captives. And we have gathered the exiles of our people from the four corners of the earth. Baruch Hashem. Now, my friends, on this momentous occasion of Israel's 75th birthday, and on the cusp of Yom HaZikaron, when we will stop whatever we are doing to remember all those who fell in the defense of our people or in acts of terror, let us pray that we may also see all of the people of Israel from all four corners of the earth walk together as friends, as Chaverim Kol Yisrael. Indeed, we cannot build flourishing Jewish communities at home in North America or here in Israel. Communities that are healthy, safe, caring, welcoming and inclusive, educated and engaged, involved in the broader society, and deeply connected to each other if we cannot come together across differences and work together for the common good. Now, we are now just only 1/3 of the way through the General Assembly, but it's already had enough drama to last us for the whole year. When our terrific co-chairs, Shauna Goodman and Jeff Schoenfeld, began planning this conference, we could not have known that Israel would be in the throes of an existential political debate. Yet by the time we were ready to come, we knew the debate would permeate our time here. Our determination to welcome both government officials and respectful protests is, I believe, the only way that we can find our way through a dark time and into a bright future. And this is how we have approached the entire debate about the judiciary. We have made clear our love and unconditional support for the state of Israel, but we've also expressed our real concerns about the specifics of legislation. We've spoken to all parties and all sides of the debate about the issues that directly impact the Jewish communities that we represent. We have consistently encouraged negotiations and compromise for the sake of the Jewish people. And we have supported the courageous leadership of President Herzog, which he demonstrated again here last evening. Now, no one has gotten it all right in this challenging time. Not the government, not the opposition, and not us. But we're going to keep trying, and we know you all will too. As we come to the conclusion of today's program, it's important to remind ourselves, as our incredible chair, Julie Platt, told us last night, about what is unique about this Israel at 75 General Assembly. In other words, why is this General Assembly different than all other General Assemblies? It's not because we're in Israel. Because General Assembly aficionados, of which there are many in this hall, know that the GA, as we affectionately call this conference, is traditionally held in Israel every 5 years, the last one in 2018. No, what is different is that we moved the General Assembly for the first time from its typical late fall timing so that we could be here in Israel for the Yoms, Yom HaZikaron and Yom HaAtzmaut. And what is also different is that we are not spending the Yoms in a conference center or at events designed only for Americans. Rather, we are spending the Yoms immersed in Israeli culture and society. And dozens of missions are crisscrossing the country doing the same thing. As soon as I adjourn this session, we will board buses for Latrun, the site of the historic battle for independence, where 6,000 people will join Israelis from the Massa program in a ceremony to begin Yom HaZikaron. And tomorrow we will spread out across Israel to commemorate and mourn alongside all who are bereaved. We will stand in silence together as the sirens sound, and we will pray at the graves of the heroes and the martyrs of our people. And then we will mark the turning point to Yom HaAtzmaut together as one, Israelis and diaspora Jews, with fireworks and music and, of course, barbecue, just as the Israelis mark this day. Chaverim, Kol Yisrael, all the people of Israel as friends, and let us say, Amen.
אני מרדים מהחלום, וזה עושה לי די עצוב. האביב חלף עבר לו, מי יודע אם ישוב. הליצן נהיה למלך, הנביא נהיה ליצן, ושכחתי את הדרך, אבל אני עוד כאן.
Sing with us, friends.
יהיה טוב, יהיה טוב, כן. לפעמים אני נשבר. אז הלילה, איתך אני נשאר.
אני מביט מהחלום, לראות אם כל זה אמיתי. עוד ביט מהחלום, למלא את תפילתי. עוד נגור זאב עם כבש, ונאמר ירבץ עם גדי. אך בינתיים אל תוציאי את ידך מכף ידי. לפעמים אני נשבר. אז הלילה, איתך אני נשאר.
Jedi Initiative, Rabbi Deborah Waxman, the CEO of Reconstructing Judaism, and of course we acknowledge that the Yeh Tov was a product of the creative mind of Yonatan Geffen, of blessed memory, who we lost just this last week. It is now time to board the buses for Latrun. Baruch atah b'voecha, u'baruch atah b'tzeitecha. Blessed were you in coming, and may you be blessed as you leave this place. We are adjourned.
לפעמים אני נשאר